Welcome everyone for the today's session, that is the access modifiers. So you already in starting only we know that what are the access modifiers we have, that is access specifier, which we have studied already. So like you have the private, protected and public, and by default you will be having private only. So how this is going to be used? Okay, so here especially in the package, okay, when you want to specify the modifiers, so you know very well this access modifiers in Java will specify the specific accessibility. That means which data member or methods or constructor or class you are going to access. When you want to access these data member, methods, constructor or class, then how you are going to use in the programming. Okay, so we know very well generally three types like private, public, protected. So I have added one more here, default. So we can say there are four types of Java access specifier. Okay, so you can use here in Java four types of access specifier. So let's talk one by one what are those access specifier, okay, or you can say as a access modifier. You can even say that access protection is there. If you check the book, it will be there something called as access protection. So same thing is there, access protection, or you say access modifier, access specifier. Okay, so the first one you have the private. Okay, so we know very well that if any class, any data member, if we are defining with the private, so that will be accessible only within the class, not outside the class. So this point is very clear. So the data member, or you say that the private access modifier is accessible within the class. So whatever you have data member or methods, if you have declared using the private or constructor, if you declared using the private access modifier, then you are going to use only within the class. Outside of the class, that is not accessible. Use of private. So any other class of the same package will not be able to access this member. Obviously, because what we said, if you have some other classes in the same package, you have created, yesterday we have created a package called CSE. In the CSE package, if you have two different class, okay, it doesn't mean that both class will be accessible. So it doesn't mean that both class will be able to access the members. Okay, so that is the main important thing. So it's okay, maybe the question will be there, no, I have created the package. Okay, so the classes or interface, whatever you are doing, it cannot be declared as a private. Okay, now the example. So what is the example? We'll create a class name called ABC. Okay, we have declared a data member, that is number, as a double in private section, and we have initialized the value as a 100. Now we have another method, that is private. Okay, in the private only a square. Okay, so you have just returned the statement. See, now here we are using return. So I have already given the question, if you remember, that return type, what are the jump statement return, you have to use like this way, not the class return. Okay, so please remember this. So now you are creating the another example. Okay, public class example. Now in main method you are just using the calling the method, right? So hope there will be no doubt in this, right? Any doubt you have in this? Oh, probably it's very simple. See, only one class is there, right? Can you please unmute and answer yes or no? Is there any question? No, right? So same thing, just we are declaring as a private and you can see you are accessing within the class. Okay. Next, when you don't have access specifier, that means default. Okay, so when no access modifiers is specified for the class, the method or data member it's said to be have default access modifier. Okay, so by default if you are not giving anything, that means it is the default access modifier. So as we have done in previously, right? So especially in Java, when you are not defining, that is the default. Okay, so package p1, so class, see here, so this is the it is the example of your default access modifier. Okay, so similar way you can create the another package and you can access what we have seen yesterday. Okay, so now here you can see here that we are getting the compile time error. Okay, so because you are trying to access the method. Okay, we'll execute the program and we'll see also. Okay, so next you have a protected access modifier. Okay, so in protected access modifier, you know that accessing within the package, okay, and outside the package, but through inheritance only. So if you are defining using with the help of protected, you can do that. So within what will happen actually here, so it will be accessible within the package, that means whatever the package you have created, and within that it will be used. And outside of the package, when you want to use the outside of the package, remember we have used the inheritance concept, so we have to use inheritance, and it can be applied on the data member, method or constructor. So remember, it will not apply on the class. You cannot declare as a protected class, then it will be not accessible. So this is the things. So the example same, you can create the package. Okay, you have created another package. Okay, so import pack, so all the whatever the method is there, so you are going to accessible, right? So you can see here what is the difference here. If you remember the inheritance concept, when we want to inherit the properties of the superclass, then we have to use extend keyword, that is extend the class name and then you define. Okay, so like this. So this is the use of protected access specifier. So what is the public access modifiers? So public access modifier has the widest scope among all the access modifier. It will be accessible from everywhere in the program. You know, obviously public you can access anywhere. So that is the use of public. Okay, so the example you know very well, already we have used the yesterday program, the same package, you can create it using public access specifier. So what we have created yesterday with the public. So in Java, you have to be specific. When you want, if you want to declare the class as a public, then you declare it as a public. Okay, method if you want to declare public, you declare as a public or by default. If you want protected, you define protected. So like that, you should do that. So when we make the table column, so where you are going to use the access modifier or where you cannot use. So access modifiers can be available within the class. So all the access modifier you can do yes. Private within the package no, because we can access using protected. Okay, outside the package private is no, default is no. Okay, so if you see this tabular column, you will understand okay where you can use the access specifier, you can use within the class or not, you can use within the package or not, you can use outside the package like subclasses or not, outside the package yes or no. So this is the just example. Whatever we have discussed, same thing we have made into the tabular column. That is your package.